Be going over a couple things, working on some stuff and whatnot. I'm in my fancy farmer outfit and my slippers with my wonky hair. But I had someone ask me the other day, how do I keep my goggles from fogging up? I don't know if y'all can see real clear on there, but that's toothpaste. Learned that from a friend who was into diving. Toothpaste, you rub it on there before you start, and then wipe it off, and it helps to stop your goggles from fogging up, your safety glasses. Just cheap toothpaste, do the trick. Takes a second to kind of shine them up and get the toothpaste off of said glasses. And it helps if you get the dirt off of them before you go to do this. But yeah, that's a neat little trick to have on hand. So, that's how I do that. See? All shiny. And then, I always see this all over the internet, you know, the debate, if you will, about how people keep their milk white and blur, 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 yada, yada. And I'll show you what I do. I'll show you what works for me. I'm not saying y'all have to do it, Lord knows. And after I make this little video, because I will probably pause it and chop it into bits, then we will be making, with my still relatively new to me Kelsey mold, a batch of Kerfluffled, aka pink sugar. My throat's all wonky because it's windy and dry out there. There we go. So, when I go to make a batch of soap, and actually today I'm going to be making several, you can see the massive, lineup of colors that I have ready to go. Hot mess, I tell you. I pre-weigh my milk into these tumblers from Walmart. You can get them for like $4 for $1. And if you look on the bottom, and I don't know if y'all can see it in the video or not, but there's a little triangle with the number 5 in it. It means they're heat safe. And then I just freeze my milk in there, solid. Measure out my lye. I usually dump like a quarter to a third of the lye. And I start working it in. This batch is not a huge batch. It's decent size. It's going to make 18 bars of soap. I'm working with, I want to say this is like 18 or 19 ounces of milk and 8.6 ounces of lye. I'd have to refer to the recipe. Let us consult the recipe. Yeah, it is 19 ounces of milk, 62 ounces of oils, and 8.6 ounces of lye, which that I knew because I just measured the lye. Anyways, you can kind of see there how it starts to melt down. And since this cup is orange, I'm going to have to pour it into something clear for y'all to see, I think. But I have something set aside for that. But you can feel on the sides of the cup, even through your gloves, you know, you can feel the heat, but it's like right at the top where the lye is. And personally, if you ask me, this way beats the heck. And it's kind of orangey looking from the cup, but you can see it's still real nice and white. Anyways, this beats the heck out of fussing with ice cubes or anything else. I used to freeze my milk in bags, like Ziploc bags, and then I would break off enough chunks to get what I wanted, because the ice cube trays and I do not get along. It's really kind of sad. I'm not smart enough to work an ice cube tray, but at least I own it. Can't work the ice cube trays. So after that dump of lye, I can feel this cup has heated up a wee bitty bit right here. But it's still nice and pale and milky. Whoops, I sploosh a little. And see, with this batch, I happen to know, you know, this tumbler cup thing, you've got your limit. And I know that 18 or 19 ounces of milk and almost 9 ounces of lye, 8.6, they're not going to fill it like to the top or overflowing or any craziness like that. But it will be pretty full. If I were to work any bigger than, you know, 60, 65 ounces of oil at a time, I would probably want to use a slightly bigger, also heat-safe container to freeze my milk in. Like if you're making giant batches, and it's going to take a little bit. You know, this isn't going to be like a 3-minute YouTube video. It will take a little bit, but I'll tell you, for me especially, it beats the heck out of trying to do like an ice bath or anything like that. And personally, this is just me, I feel that if you're going to soak with goat milk, you should soak full milk. You know, if you don't have goats in milk, if you've got to go buy your milk somewhere, that's one thing. But especially for those of us with dairy goats, you might as well put as much milk in as you can get in to get all the benefits out of it that you can. Because remember, it's not like a lotion where you can only use a certain percentage of it. Oh, light went out. It'll come back on. The light is on its last legs. Anyways, what I was saying was, it's not like a lotion where you can only use a certain percentage of milk. You know, you can soak full milk, but it's fighting the lye to survive and impart its awesome goat milk abilities into your soaps. So there is that to keep in mind when making cold processed soap with goat milk. And that's just how I feel. I don't have any scientific data to back it up or whatever. But like I said, except for, you know, the people that have to buy milk, your goats are dry, they're not in milk yet, you don't have goats, that's one thing. Like, I understand cost-effective wise, a gallon of goat milk can be $8, $10, $12, and a gallon of distilled water is 88 cents. You know what I mean? So I understand splitting costs there. That way, see, there it goes. Those light bulbs. It's one of those frou-frou halogen ones, and when they get too hot, they click off. And it is a little warm today here in Texas. But anyways, what I was saying was, you know, everybody's different, all that good stuff, whatnot, so on and so forth, etc. But personally, I feel like if you're going to do it, you know, soak full milk. And even if you're not, if you're using distilled water, this is another one, personally, I would rather freeze either my water, milk, or a combo of both solid, and then add the lye to it, and have it come out at about 80 degrees to start, then add the lye to my water, if I'm soaping with water, let's say, and have it shoot up over 200 degrees and then have to wait for it to cool back down. Or if you're in a hurry, fighting with that whole ice water bath, blur, blur, blur. Because that just adds a whole layer of difficult. Empty. That was what, like 3 dumps? And there's still a little bit of frozen milk. I can feel it. But we're getting there. So anyways, yeah, even if you're soaping with water, you can use this trick to kind of speed up things in a safe way, to me, because I can't, you know, it's, most days it's just me here at the house, but we do have the critters, and a lot of people have small children. I would rather mix up my lye mix and then shoot straight into my oils than leave around lye mix waiting for it to cool. Because you're leaving around a potential accident, if that makes any sense. You know, you mix up, let's say, room temperature distilled water and lye to soap, and then you've got to wait for it to come from 200 degrees down to 80, 90, 100 degrees. And depending on the temperature in your house and all that, it can take a while. A lot of people set it aside and go on about their business. But in the meantime, it's sitting there waiting to spill. Does it happen very often? No. Have I heard a few horror stories? Why, yes, I have. Everybody's heard them. So, and see, I can feel it's getting down to the bottom. There's the bottom of the cup. If there's still a little bit of frozen milk. So then I just take my spoon and kind of work it loose, and I'll get like a giant ice cube of still frozen milk. See it? Wipe that off of there. Anyways, so what I was saying was, so yeah, to me, if you start even with frozen water, and I'll have to check the time on the video at the end to let you know, but, and I guess since everything's melted, I'll pour it into this. That way y'all can kind of see. Scrape that out real good. But you can feel with your spoon as you stir that all the grains of lye have dissolved, because they go from kind of like mixing sugar into sweet tea, like that sandy gritty feeling, to a smooth feel. And you can see, even though this is not the best quality video, it is slightly pale yellow. That's just what milk and lye do. You're never going to get it white, but it is still a pretty bright white. And this is the part for myself where I add my sodium lactate. And then I'm ready to add it to my soap. And if I look, it's been 12 minutes. And most of that was me BSing and talking. So, well, and stirring. But like I said, that beats leaving something sitting alone for 20, 30 minutes, you know, while it cools off, while you're piddling doing other things. So I'll stop the video here. We'll start another one, and we'll be making pink sugar, a.k.a. kerfuffled.